What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another video on the channel about all things streaming. I'm Dan and/or X2Shoes, and today we're going to be talking about something that I'm actually really interested to talk about. Today we're going to be talking about the biggest myths and misconceptions on Twitch. I find that on Twitch there's a lot of misinformation, be that about TOS, what's allowed, what's not allowed, just general things that people who want to start streaming think they have to have or have to be doing so that they can succeed. So what I've done is I've compiled a list of things that I either believed or thought to be true and found out later that wasn't true, or things that I just see on Twitch that I know not to be the case, and we're going to talk about it today. But before we get into today's video, everybody, I would love to thank the wonderful, illustrious sponsors of today's video, Owned.tv. Owned.tv is an amazing website for new streamers or seasoned streamers alike. If you're looking for new alerts, cam overlays, different scenes, transitions, anything you can think of to make your stream pop and look really tight and really professional, Owned has you covered. There are hundreds of different bundles to choose from, and they are so affordable as well. Clean and professional looking stream design does not always have to cost a fortune, and Owned is the best place to go for that kind of thing. One of the best things about Owned is that all of the packages they provide are fully editable. So if you and your friend pick up the same package, you can swap out different elements of that bundle to make it look slightly different from your friend, so you guys can have completely unique looks even though you're using the same package. It's awesome. So if you want to give your stream a visual upgrade, get some sick alerts, or anything else you might need, you can follow the link in the description of this video to check out Owned. And if you want to save yourself a lovely 30%, you can also use code X2Shoes on the platform when you're checking out as well. Thanks so much to Owned again for sponsoring today's video. Now then, let's talk about some myths. I can't say that word. Myths? Myths? I feel like I'm saying myths, like MIT. Goddamn Irish accent. Let's talk about some myths and myth. This guy's saying myth. Myth. Let's talk about some myths and misconceptions about Twitch. Alright, number one, music. As everyone is pretty much aware by now, Twitch is not the copyright free-for-all it used to be where you could go on and play whatever you want without zero consequences. Copyright and DMCA strikes are a thing now, and you should all be aware of the rules and regulations. Now, obviously this is a very new thing, but it's something that you can't really ignore. There's definitely this misconception on Twitch that if you're a smaller streamer or if you're not partnered or whatever, maybe you're not making a lot of money on your stream, that you can use copyright music. No, you cannot. I don't know how this misconception came into being. I know there was a lot of everyone was confused when this whole DMCA thing happened last year. But I think one of the big things was that smaller streamers thought that they could still get away with using copyright-free music. Believe me when I say that this is not the case. If you do not own the rights to the music that you are using, you cannot play it. There's also a misconception that if you have clips disabled on your channel, that you can't be hit with a copyright strike because of that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not 100% on this one. But I scoured the internet and I could not find any information to confirm nor deny these rumors. But to be honest, just be safe about it. There is plenty of free, royalty-free music out there that's awesome. Gone are the days where you can throw on whatever artist you want and just have a grand old time about it. As I said, there are so many free resources on the internet for royalty-free music. I'm sure you're all familiar with Stream Beats. I personally pay for an Epidemic Sound license, and oh my god, it is so worth it. I use all Epidemic Sound music in these videos. I use it on my stream. There's playlists for literally every mood, every genre, whatever you could think. I highly recommend Epidemic Sound. It's about $8 or $9 a month, I think. A Monster Cat Gold subscription is also really good. I believe that's about $5.99 or $4.99 a month. But the moral of the story is pay for your music, right? It's good for the artists, and look, it keeps you safe. A lot of people will say, I play copyright music on my stream every single day and nothing's ever happened to me. Yeah, nothing's ever happened to you. Yet. Look at how many streamers were affected when this came into action at first, right? People got strikes in their channel, people got banned. It was a whole thing. I don't feel like this whole DMCA thing is going to go away overnight randomly. So the best thing you can do is just not take any chances. You might be a small streamer now, but who's to say in 6 months' time that something crazy happens and you just completely blow up? You have to put these processes in place now. Don't believe everything you hear. If it comes from Twitch, then you can believe it. But if it comes from your random streamer friend who tells you they've been playing Post Malone on their channel for the last 6 months and nothing bad has happened to them, and Post Malone himself came into chat and said, hey, thanks for playing my music, doesn't matter. Also, it doesn't matter if you pay for Spotify or Apple Music or whatever subscription. That is not the same as owning the rights to the music. You have to have permission from the artist or from the label or whoever to play that music. So don't get caught out. Pay for your music or find some free alternatives online. There's Stream Beats, as I said, and then if you want a paid option, I definitely recommend Epidemic Sound or Monster Cat as well. Alright, I feel like this is going to ruffle some feathers, but I'm just going to say it. It's kind of become common practice for people to think that you cannot grow on Twitch by solely streaming alone. I'm going to go ahead and disagree. Now, I'm not going to fully disagree. I believe that it is a little bit of a misconception that you can only grow on Twitch if you're on another platform as well. It's kind of become a bit of a rule of thumb now for streamers that if you want to grow on Twitch, that you have to be on other platforms that have more discoverability built in. I disagree, but there is caveats to this. I understand the value of growing on other platforms. I think that using other platforms with more discoverability certainly, absolutely, 100% helps and does help your channel grow. My own Twitch channel, since I've started posting these YouTube videos, has seen a pretty decent growth. I've gone up in viewership from it, and it's been great. And thank you all so much, by the way. If you've ever come from YouTube and said hi in my stream, I see you. I appreciate the shit out of you. But is that always going to be the case? If you are not putting in a lot of effort on Twitch with your content, if you then just take that low effort content, clip it to 15 seconds and put it on TikTok, it's not always going to work for you. You have to remember that whatever platform you're using, whether it's Twitch, YouTube, you have to be proud of that content first. You have to look at your content and say, is this something that's interesting to people? Is this something that I think people will enjoy? If you yourself wouldn't watch your own content and enjoy it, then who's to say that other people will as well? So what I'm getting at here is that you can see some success on Twitch without doing anything else. I went from 0 viewers to about 75 plus, 85 plus, all the way to the partner requirements, having never done a single thing on Twitch other than stream. I know other streamers who are now partners who literally started the exact same time as me, who made their way up to 150 plus viewers without doing anything else. It's rare, but it can happen if you employ some good tactics on Twitch. Now, I think this would work for some streamers. I do not think it will work for other streamers. And I think if you are in one of these other streamer categories, you should probably look at, maximizing your discoverability by using another social media platform. For me, I play a lot of single player games, right? I play a lot of single player story driven, first playthrough content. Like I've been doing the Souls series, I've done Skyrim, Red Dead, GTA 5 main story, all those kind of things, right? Those are games typically, that I've mentioned this in other videos, that have pretty decent viewership all the time, but not always hundreds of people streaming them. So it's a lot easier to build a little bit of a viewership only on Twitch when you are playing one of those games. I've mentioned it so many times before, and I do plan on doing a video fully explaining this kind of method of Twitch growth by playing more niche games, but it is a method that I feel that works. When you play single player games or when you play games that are solo, you don't typically end up with recyclable content in forms of, say, TikToks and stuff, unless something really funny happens or you react to something on the stream. Whereas if you're playing more of a competitive game, such as a shooter, say Warzone or Fortnite, you could get these crazy shots, crazy kills, crazy clips, and those are way easier to recycle into, say, TikToks or Instagram Reels or whatever. If you are one of those type of streamers, it is ridiculously hard for you to be discovered on Twitch. Twitch has no way for you to be discovered unless somebody basically scrolls for hours to find your channel. So the only way that you're really going to get viewers into your stream is if by somebody huge raids you, you're friends with somebody, you're well connected, or you get extremely lucky. Those are the streamers that I would absolutely be imploring that, hey, if you are not making content outside of Twitch or your YouTube streams, absolutely be making content outside of other places. But if you're somebody more like me, sure, it helps. I do it. I post TikTok sometimes and Reels and all that kind of thing, but I'm saying it wasn't absolutely fundamental to my growth. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is that I feel that streamers now feel that this is something they just have to 100% be doing. And if you can manage that workload, absolutely go for it. Hats off to you. You're killing it. But not everyone can. And I feel that this is why so many streamers get burnout, because they feel that, right, okay, I want to be a live streamer. So if I want to be a live streamer, I also have to be a live streamer, TikToker, YouTuber, Instagrammer, list goes on. All right? You don't. This kind of leads on from my last point a little bit. Discoverability. You hear this word thrown around. I myself used it in the last section of the video like 17 times. I hear this word thrown around a lot, being like, hey man, your discoverability, Twitch has no discoverability. You gotta discoverability, you gotta have discoverability, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I get it. You need discoverability. Now, what does that mean for you? One thing I keep seeing people say is that you should, stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time. In my opinion, that is not a good idea. Think about it this way, all right? Say I was a very high-level basketball player. I, at the same time, would not be a baseball player and a football player at the exact same time, because I probably wouldn't be giving the right amount of attention to each individual discipline. Yes, it's all sports, but there's different disciplines, right? I feel that's the same. Yes, YouTube is live streaming, Facebook is live streaming, Twitch is live streaming. They're all the same thing. You are basically going to be doing the same thing on each platform, but each platform has its own nuances and differences and things that you can do on some, you can't do on others. It's confusing for people. Basically what you're doing there is casting out a ridiculously wide net, and when you reel that net back in, it's empty still. I feel like you are much better off giving appropriate attention to one platform as opposed to just throwing this crazy wide net of content out into the internet ocean and hoping to catch a load of people and catch a load of viewers. The marketing theory there is sound, that yes, you're giving way more chances for people to see your product, right? To see what you have to offer. But the execution is so flawed, right? I just don't know anyone who's seen a crazy amount of success by doing this. Pretty sure it breaks your affiliate agreement if you do this simultaneously. I believe you can stream on other platforms as a Twitch affiliate, just not simultaneously as you are doing so on Twitch. One benefit that I think small streamers have over their competition, which is these crazy big streamers, is that they get to know their communities, right? I feel like you'll really struggle to get to know your community if you've got these people like who watched you one day on Facebook and then somebody's watched you on YouTube and you don't know where these people are coming from and it's hard to keep up with the different chats or whatever. I just feel that it's much better for you to pay attention to one single platform, make that work for you. And then, hey, if you want down the line, you could change platforms, right? You could change to YouTube or whatever. A lot of people are doing that now and it seems to be working for some people. But for now, focus on one thing. Time spent streaming equals success. This one is a bit of a no-brainer, but I feel like I keep having to shout this at people in my YouTube comment sections who come in and they're like, I streamed for 16 hours and I only had one viewer, what the hell? Time spent streaming does not equal how well you will do. I feel people who just start up their streams have this misconception that if you want to be a streamer, you have to stream for 8 hours a day because all the big fish stream for 8 hours a day. Absolutely wrong. I myself stream very, very rarely longer than 3 hours. Like, unless I'm doing a bigger stream, normally 3 or 4 hours is my maximum that I'll do because that's what I feel I'm able to do. You might feel that you are able to do an 8-hour stream right now, but I promise you that if you continue that as well as all your other responsibilities in your life, you will burn out very, very, very fast. Also, the likelihood of you being able to keep up an entertaining stream for longer than 3 hours is pretty minimal. Just because you're sitting there live longer than, the other guy who's next to you in the list doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get viewers just because you're live. As I said, there's other ways to gain discoverability. If you're streaming 8 hours, you're not seeing any difference, split that in half and spend the extra 4 hours making content elsewhere. I had a comment the other day from somebody telling me that they stream 16 hours a day and they have no viewers. I skimmed through one of their VODs and they literally said nothing. Every point in the video I went to, that person was saying literally nothing for minutes on end sometimes. And I was like, well, this is the reason you are doing this. Perhaps maybe you cut your streaming time right the way down and spent that other time that you were streaming, maybe taking a public speaking class or doing something that could benefit your content. You might see better results. Just because you are live doesn't mean that you will get views. A lot of the bigger people don't really need to spend as much time doing stuff as us small guys because they've got people to do it for them. So that's why they can stream. Hey, if I had nothing else to do, I would probably stream for 8 hours. But for right now, do what you can manage and don't put pressure on yourself to do more. If you're streaming for 8 hours plus and it's not working out for you, you gotta look at changing that approach and maybe figuring out where you're going wrong. Probably a bit of a no-brainer, but you do not need the best equipment on planet Earth or that money can buy to be a streamer. Streaming is actually a lot more affordable than most people think it is. Yes, it requires some amount of investment if you want, but it can also be super, super, super affordable. Just because Big Shot Streamer 252 uses a 3090, whatever setup, whatever cooler, whatever lighting, whatever camera, does not mean for you to have a chance as a streamer, you have to replicate that person's setup. You do not. You can get such good results with very minimal investment. I've seen so many comments on Reddit or whatever being like, I'd love to be a streamer, but I can't afford to. What do you mean you can't afford to? You're typing this on a computer. You may not be able to stream exactly what you want or exactly how you want for now, but if you really want to break into it, you can. Don't let your lack of equipment hold you back from doing something that you may really, really, really enjoy. All right, another misconception. If you want to be a streamer, you have to be this loud, goofy, crazy guy on the internet. No, big misconception. You do not need to be this like full of energy, crazy hyped person 24/7, 7 cans of Monster Energy, 6 G Fuel, 10 cups of coffee type streamer. I feel a lot of people think that this is the case, that if you want to be big on Twitch, you gotta be this crazy loud, like, let's go! Fuck, no, you don't. You do not at all. Get that out of your head. If you want to be a more chilled out, cozy streamer, that is just as valid and should not deter you from wanting to be a streamer. You can be whatever type of streamer you want. Again, that's the beauty of Twitch. It's your space to do what you want with. If you want to be a more chill voice in the room, be the more chill voice in the room. If you want to be the loud person in the room, be the loud person in the room. The point is, you can decide. You are the master of your own destiny here. You don't need to kind of take on this false persona just because you think that's what people want to see. People want to see you, and they want to get to know you and your personality at the end of the day, because your personality is awesome. All right, let's get serious. Common misconception about Twitch is that it's the best job in the world. It really at times isn't. Quick disclaimer, Twitch is not my full-time job. Content is not my full-time job. Maybe it will be one day, but for now it's not. I have a day job that I very much like, and you know, I do this as well. But I think it's a big misconception that Twitch is just kind of chilling out, hanging out and playing video games all day, which really it isn't. I think if you are trying to take Twitch, I think, a bit seriously or grow a community or grow a platform, it can be stressful. It can be like anything else. It can make you question yourself. It can make you anxious. It can make you stressed out, just like any other normal job would. It's a phenomenal job, and people who get to do this for a living, I would consider to be some of the luckiest people out there. But you know, when you do something as a job and when you do it every day, there is going to be days where you wake up and you don't feel like doing it. There is times that people stream just because they might need to, right? If it's their job, it's their livelihood, they might need to more so because they want to. And that's a dangerous trap to get into. Even though the streamer's on and they might be laughing and smiling, they might feel like shit in the inside, right? There might be something going on personally with them. They might feel sick. They might have a headache. You know, there's a plethora of things. Go into it knowing that, you know, if you want to take this to a full-time position, there might be some days where you feel a bit like any other job. That's completely fine. All right, if you are planning on taking Twitch that little bit more seriously and you're not just doing it for fun, there's one thing that I think you really need to understand. You might be a streamer or a gamer, but you are also a business person. If you are a streamer, right, and you kind of have this idea of like, oh, you know, this is my job, I just chill out in my sweatpants all day and my hoodie, and I'm just a gamer and that's what we do, and we're a bit scruffy. I can't talk right now. I haven't had a haircut in a year. Yes, I'm scruffy. But my point I'm making here is that along with streaming and along with building your community or your platforms or your YouTube channel or your Twitch channel, whatever, opportunities arise. People will want things from you. People will want to talk to you about brand deals or sponsors or hosting things or appearances or whatever. People will do that. And when you're discussing these things with people, you got to turn off the gamer persona and you got to turn on the business person persona. You know, show up on time, put on some nicer clothes. Don't just wear a shirt or a t-shirt and some sweatpants, you know, get yourself ready for it. You wouldn't show up to a job interview wearing like some gamer logo t-shirt, so you know you shouldn't show up to any sort of like business meeting or like meeting with other streamers or whatever. You got to present yourself right to the people that you want things from, and it goes a long way. Even me, like, I get a lot of emails like to my business email from people in the comments of these videos which explicitly says business purposes only, by the way. They'll be like, yo, check out my channel, bruh. No. You want something from somebody, you approach them the right way, right? I've gotten a lot of emails or comments or DMs on platforms from, say, other streamers or people looking for advice or tips. And no, I'm not a business person. I'm not going to give you some sort of deal, but you're looking for something from me. So the message should not open up with, bruh. I don't know how kids talk, man. I'm fucking old. Firstly, I respond to every single one of those DMs and I say, you can include, hi, how are you? I'm a person too, right? Ask me how I am. If you have some sort of dealing with, say, brand or business or even another streamer or somebody that you don't know, you know, throw on the little formal hat. I'm not saying that you have to sit there and be like, hello, X2 Shoes. Kind regards, yours sincerely, blah, blah. No, not at all. But I'm saying it's better to be a little bit more cautious with somebody while you're getting to know them and be that little bit more formal as opposed to super informal straight away, right? Another common misconception for streamers is that they have to say yes. Especially if you're a smaller streamer, right? You're a lot more accessible than the likes of big streamers with thousands and thousands of viewers. If people are in your Discord channel, most likely they can DM you or they can tweet you or whatever. You do not have to be on all the time. If somebody tweets you or DMs you on Discord or wherever, if you are not available, do not feel bad about, you know, not being available. You know, a lot of the times, yeah, it's really great as a streamer to be helpful, but don't feel obliged to say yes and put pressure on yourself that maybe maybe you don't want to do that thing, but you're afraid to say no because this person is a viewer or a subscriber or whatever. Like you can set boundaries with your community, and you should. I literally only got a tweet a few weeks ago of some other streamer who DM'd me looking for advice on something, and they were in America. I was in Ireland. I was asleep when I got the message, and I woke up to a long ass DM berating me for not replying and having too big of an ego to reply. I wrote back, I was like, dude, I was asleep. You have a life outside of the internet and you are allowed to live that life. That's completely normal. And every, valuable member of your community will understand that. If anyone's putting pressure on you, then just ignore that person. That's not healthy, right? It's not. All right, last and final misconception about Twitch. If you are not blowing up straight away, you aren't going to make it. I feel like people think that when they start streaming from the very get-go, or they start making videos or whatever, and no one's watching them, and it's been however long it's been, and you're still not getting views, or you're still not getting viewers, that okay, I'm just not built for this. Wrong. I got a comment the other day on a video that said, hey, I've been streaming for 3 weeks and I've only got 4 viewers. Fuck this, I'm done. I was like, are you kidding? I streamed for 3 months with 4 viewers, if not more, and probably more. Hey, if this isn't happening for you overnight, that's okay. I know that there's certain people who get super, super, super lucky, or they're just extremely talented at what they do, and they blow up in their first couple of months streaming. It happens. Don't get me wrong. It absolutely happens. Look at somebody like Ludwig, right? But what he did is extremely, extremely rare. He is the 0.2% of people who blew up that fast. You might be streaming for 3 weeks to 0 viewers. You might be streaming for 3 years to 0 viewers. It is all down to luck, hard work, and what you do to get your name out there. I'm not trying to discourage anybody, but what I'm saying is, if you're not willing to accept that this is not going to be an overnight thing for you, if it's hard after 2 weeks, it's going to be even harder 2 years down the line. If you are having that mentality, just get it out of your head for now. Turn off your view counter, focus on making good content, and worry about the numbers way down the line. There's people out there who have streamed for 3 weeks and blown up. Yes, it's happened, but there's also people out there who have streamed for 3 years to probably under 10 viewers, and then in their 4th year, they just randomly blew up and made it big. So what I'm saying is, just because it's not happening now doesn't mean it will never happen. So just keep on trying. And that brings us to the end of another video, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it today. I hope you had an amazing time. I hope you had a fun time. If you did have an amazing fun time, please do leave a like on the video. That helps me out a lot. And as well, please do leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the video. Always enjoy reading the comments. I try to respond to as much of them as I can. And you can catch me 4 days a week on twitch.tv/x2shoes. But yeah, I hope you all have amazing weeks on your stream. I hope you all make amazing content, or at least try your best to. I'm sure you will. Have a fantastic week. Stay safe. I will see you in the next one.